No, I can't even say it. I hate both of these decks, actually, a lot.
I mean, they're traditional modern stalwarts, but they both are not well-liked by a lot of players. So,
especially me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't ever beat both of these decks.
The nemesis
ever.
of all Thoughtseizes and Cryptic Command decks on the face of the earth. We have Josh Stringer, who is playing Red-Green Scapeshift, and we have John Nord, who is playing Mono-Green Tron. So, you know, some of the big mana strategies in the format.
I'm not as big on mono green. I don't see any reason not to play the red. I feel like the red gives you percentage points against decks that you're pretty bad against.
It does. The green variant does. Let's see. So the green variant is much better when your opponent is casting a lot of Path Exiles and activating a lot of Field of Ruins, because then you have a ton of basics. So you actually, every time they path you or they field you, you just get basic, and you actually get like cast Orm Coil with like 5 forests in play.
Okay.
The red-green variant has like a forest or 2, so Path Exile is much better versus that deck. But you are right, the red variant has things like Pyroclasm, where like trying to beat something like Affinity is very difficult without a card like that as a sweeper. This mono green variant has to play some more interesting cards to get back those matches.
Yeah, we got Sweltering Sun's main board over on the red-green Scapeshift deck. It's going to be completely useless in this matchup, but we are going to be able to cycle it, which is a huge factor as to playing a card like this.
It cycles for 3.
Yeah, fun fact, it cycles for 3 mana, not 2 mana. All right? I've gotten into a lot of trouble because of something like that.
Really?
Yes, I was at a PPTQ, not knowing the fact that it's a 3 mana cycle, cycled it during my opponent's end step, and then went to my untap before we realized what had happened, right? Luckily, I didn't get into that much trouble, but it was definitely eye-opening.
Yeah, you never want to make mistakes like that, but
Absolutely not.
sometimes it happens.
Yeah,
It's okay.
But that's how we learn. We get better via friends teaching us stuff and making mistakes.
Right, that's true.
So this is why we need to play Magic. The more Magic you play, the better you get at it, regardless of how poorly you're doing.
That's a good point. And let's see. I guess it's kind of, well, not kind of. It matters a lot who won the die roll in this spot. The Scapeshift deck, it takes several turns for it to be able to kill on its turn 5 or 6, but the Tron deck really needs something like a Karn Liberated early to start destroying some of the Scapeshift players' lands.
Or like a Wormcoil Engine. Wormcoil Engine's a really fast clock.
Yeah, that's good too. But like some of its cards, like for example, if the the Tron players got like Oblivion Stones and Ugins, that's not going to do very much versus opponents just playing a bunch of lands.
Yeah, Ugin's okay. It does represent a clock in and of itself. The Lightning Bolt every turn's fine, but it's not going to get there before Scapeshift can do basically whatever it wants.
Right. Yeah. Most of these Scapeshift decks are trying to win the game on turn 4 or 5 usually. So the Tron player really wants to have some way to disrupt them. Either gaining life with Wormcoil acts as pseudo disruption, or having things like Ulamog or Karn to be able to destroy the Scapeshift player's lands.
Yeah, Ulamog being really powerful, setting the Scapeshift player back.
Oh yeah. If the Tron player is able to cast Ulamog, they're very likely to win the game. So looks like a keep from John, and looks like Josh is considering. I wonder.
It's probably a really close hand on Josh's side.
Yeah. Oh, looks like he's going back for 6. Must not have had quite enough stuff.
Josh gonna go for 6 cards here. Hopefully we're gonna get a more playable hand. 2 lands and secure a Tri-Builder or like a Farseek effect.
Oh yeah.
Be very, very powerful. Exactly what our game plan wants to do. Gonna keep Scry to the bottom, and I think John's gonna start us off.
Yeah, looks like John's got one of the ideal starts. Turn 1 Tron Piece map, turn 2 Tron Piece activate. Gonna have 7 mana available on his turn 3. and with turn 1 Stomping Ground pass, he doesn't have to worry too much about getting disrupted.
Yep.
Although I guess can't say that for sure. It is possible that Josh could be playing Ponza with that start, but if Josh was actually playing Ponza, he would mulligan to a 1-mana accelerant of some sort. But
Yeah, very important to have that
if
in the Ponza deck.
Yeah, if he was playing it, but nope, just playing Cinderglade Pass, and I wonder what John's going to play on his turn 3. Karn would certainly be the best available, although Wormcoil would also be quite powerful.
Yep. Karn probably being a bit more powerful because I believe Karn could just start attacking your opponent's lands, can it?
Yep. Yeah, being able to just exile one of your opponent's lands on your turn 3, follow it up with exiling, basically going up and down. Oh, looks like it's Karn. Well, this game might be over in a hurry. Yeah, it can exile any permanent, so likely just going to...
Yeah, I think setting back Josh on lands is really important. I think once we've seen Cinderglade, we're pretty locked into the Scape Shift deck.
Yep. There is some consideration to plussing first and then minusing because of Lightning Bolt, but I think that just if your opponent is casting Lightning Bolt on your Karn and not really developing their board, you're just like so much more favored. They're just spending their entire turn just to deal with your Karn, and then now you just get to continue casting your spells. And in this case here, didn't have the Lightning Bolt, so he gets to do everything. He gets to LD, take out a card. Now he's probably just going to go up, down, up, down, up, down for the rest of the game with that Karn. I think I see a Walking Ballista in hand too. Oh, well, I guess Wormcoil is
off of double tower, and then map Chromatic Star.
Yeah,
Josh gonna untap his Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, play a mountain. Hasn't even looked at his card for turn. Knows it's a Search for Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like
try to combat the Karn, taking down targeting his lands a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not really sure though. Like, 'cause you can get a basic here, and then it's just so hard against a Karn to be able to have enough resources, because Karn's plus and minus abilities just will get a resource no matter what you do. You're going to be getting a land if you're minusing. You're going to be probably a mana source in hand if you're plussing. So, Josh needs enough resources in play to be able to have Valakut deal damage, and Karn activating every turn is just going to deny him those resources almost every turn of the game. Also, Karn can just minus and take out that Cinderglade too.
Cut Josh off green completely.
Yeah. I'm assuming that if he got a basic mountain, Josh
probably has a green source in hand of some kind.
I think that he has to, otherwise he would have to get a basic forest, I think. But well, I think that that was nice and quick. All right.
That exiling 2 lands, Karn hitting the 3rd land puts Josh back to the first turn of the game, where John has a 10/10, a 6/6 lifelink, death touch, and an active planeswalker.
Yeah. Comparing, Karn, Wormcoil, Ulamog versus probably left with basic mountain, I think I know who's a little favored there. That's all right though. So being on the play with turn 3 Tron was pretty backbreaking for Josh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was.
So what are we thinking in the sideboard?
Well, let's see. So Josh does have some copies of Dampening Sphere. That's going to be really useful to keep those Tron lands from activating for more than just 1 mana. A lot of the cards in John's deck really need, that 6+ mana. Playing a Dampening Sphere on turn 2 is going to buy Josh a lot of time. He also has a copy of Beast Within, which can just be a land destruction spell. You just target their land and just give them a 3/3.
Yeah, you're really not that mad about giving them a free 3/3.
Oh no. The other thing too, I think some people, it depends on if you want Grudge or Nature's Claim in this matchup. I think on the play and the draw, Nature's Claim is actually kind of good because it can tag Expedition Map. I think that Grudge is okay-ish on the play in some decks, but bad on the draw, just because if they have turn 1 map and you have Grudge on the draw, you're not going to be able to get it in time.
Yep.
But the claim is okay. I don't know if Josh is interested in bringing in that many cards. Obviously, you need the right number of resources to be able to deploy, enough mint lands to have Valakut be lethal, so you can't dilute your deck too much. But at the same time, you do want to disrupt the Tron deck, because if we saw in Game 1, the Tron deck, if it's undisrupted, is just going to demolish someone trying to be a turn or two slower than them.
Yeah.
What do you think about John? What do you think he might bring in here in this matchup? Anything?
Maybe Raminap Excavator.
That's potential. Yeah, no, that's true.
Sorcerer's Spyglass is probably okay.
What do you think? Do you think he needs it though? I mean, it's kind of weird. I guess like if he has Tribal, you can shut off future copies, but
Yeah. Thought Not Seer is also very, very good in this matchup. Being able to take the Escape Shift right out of the hand immediately.
Right.
You
Yeah.
just don't have your win condition anymore. It's a very vulnerable win condition because it has to sit in your hand much longer than a normal card
Right.
would.
Thought Not Seer, I agree, is definitely very good for John in this matchup in particular. It also has 4 toughness, so even if Josh keeps in some copies, he likely is going to sideboard out like Lightning Bolts and Sweltering Suns, but, you know, even if he keeps in a couple copies, a 4/4 doesn't really care about them, shrugs it off, takes that, you know, top end payoff card, like you said, you know, Escape Shift, Primeval Titans, and the like, while having a threat that actually clocks him.
And I guess technically the Nature's Claim is supposed to come in, but we're the ones that know the Damping Sphere is there,
Right.
whereas John does not have complete knowledge of that.
That's true. Josh is playing a version that has Prismatic Omen in it. If Josh had played Prismatic Omen game 1, I think John is much more likely to bring in Nature's Claim. But without seeing Prismatic Omen in game 1, it's more likely that he kept it in his sideboard. Although he could easily bring it in game 3 if Josh has an early Damping Sphere.
Yep. I think if I see Damping Sphere, I'm bringing in Nature's Claim.
Yeah, because like it's just the only card that matters on a lot of spots.
Yep.
As long as you get rid of it, then the rest of your hand is turned on, and then all of a sudden you get to win. Versus
Yeah,
you
your
know,
clock's faster than your opponent again. And
right, exactly. Being down a card doesn't matter nearly as much. I mean, Tron can easily operate on 6 cards like it's nothing. You just have 3 Tron lands and a card. And that's all you need.
I've actually seen Tron just play 6 lands and then tap for a Wormcoil Engine before.
Yep, that works too. Sometimes some opponents just can't beat that card. There's a lot of cards in this Tron deck that are just, you know, overly powerful compared to what, you know, the amount of lands that you have to play at the time.
Yeah, they're all as powerful as their mana costs. Tron just allows you to cheat them in so much better than anything else.
Is that a...
I see 10 mana Ulamog, I believe a Sylvan Scrying, an Ancient Stirrings, and I think it was a Field of Ruin was our land.
Yeah, I don't think it has any green sources though.
Yeah, any colored sources whatsoever, which is very important in that hand.
Also, 0 Tron lands, which, you know...
Any one of those things being an expedition map rather than a Stirrings or a Sylvan Scrying, and hand's very keepable.
Yeah, hand definitely gets much better. I think he is also... You really don't want to keep hands in Tron that just don't have any copies of any Tron pieces. You really want to make sure you at least have 1.
Yep.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, he could very easily mulligan into a hand that's still totally serviceable.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll see.
Even 5 cards in the Tron decks are fine.
Yeah, and he's on the draw too, so he's actually he'll get to scry after he keeps a hand that's at least somewhat passable. Let's see if he gets a keeper this time. Well,
I think we saw at least the basic forest.
Yep.
2, it looks like. I think he's got a
Magic
foil
players, you start
and a
out
full
with
art.
the standard win a box.
Definitely saw a Sylvan Scrying in
Please
his hand
report to
too.
the
So.
judge stage. Standard win a box.
Basic Forest as a start is not really what you want to be doing in this Tron deck.
Nope. But if we are on the Sylvan Scrying planet, it is okay. It's a Kalani Heart Expedition. It's got landfall, find more lands.
Yep. Basically, you're looking to get every time that land enters the battlefield. Oh, he did bring in Nature's Claim. Okay. So maybe he sniffed out that Damping Sphere is going to come in, or Prismatic Omen and the like. Maybe he saw Josh playing earlier in the tournament and knew that he has some enchantments to hit.
Yeah. Very, very good on bringing in the Nature's Claims. Totally forgot about the Kalani Heart Expedition that we can also hit in the main board.
Yeah, there's Damping Sphere, though.
And there
Oh,
is...
he had another one! Oh, man!
our 5-card hand is instantaneously amazing against our opponent.
That's pretty impressive.
I don't think we're ever playing a Tron piece.
That's not really what I want to be doing, though. I guess what he's hoping to do is once he draws one of his Tron pieces, he'll go scrying for a different one, and then that way all of his land searching effects, he knows exactly what to get for the last one.
Yep.
I assume that that's what he's trying to do, because a 1/1 Walking Ballista is totally anemic. It's not really doing much of anything.
No, he should. We gained 8 life off of 2 Nature's Claims.
Yeah.
The 1/1 Walking Ballista is not going to do anything in this matchup.
Not really. All right, let's see. 10 mana,
10 mana
Ulamog.
Alpha Strike for 1. Then
Yeah, it's
looks like pass turn back.
Yeah, pretty
Yep.
much.
No land drop. Just going to draw his card for turn, play Valakut tapped, pass turn
Both
back.
of them aren't really doing much of anything. Although, then again, I guess considering the way that their decks are operating, John's definitely unfavored right now.
Yeah, he's got 3 lands and is nowhere near casting his Karn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that he's going to go get probably like Stomping Ground here and just cast Permeable Titan and just kind of start running away with this game. If I had to guess. Or, sorry, Cinderblade.
We have multiple basic lands.
Yeah, the other Stomping Ground. Yep, there you go.
Prime time, get two lands, put them onto the battlefield tapped, get 2 more Valakuts. So if we have Escape Shift or even just a land at this point,
yeah, it's a ton.
we're very close to lethal. 6 off the Primeval Titan, 2 more mountains off of that trigger. Or you can get basic space. You can get fetch lands, triggers on the Valakuts, fetch triggers on the
Yeah, if he had
Valakuts,
Omen,
and his opponents basically.
Yeah, it didn't really matter at that point. Next turn, Josh is able to, attack, get the last Valakut, and then any mountain, 12, and then play anything from his deck that gets in a land, 12. Doesn't matter. That's pretty much GG right there. I mean, John's hand just didn't really do much of anything.
That wasn't quite Josh's best draw, right? You want turn 1 Search for Tomorrow, turn 2 Sakura Tri-Builder.
Right. I mean, he got a little lucky that John's opener was pretty anemic. He had ways of dealing with the enchantments and the artifacts, but didn't have any way of actually developing his own mana, which cost him that game. But, I mean, since John did smash in game 1, they get to go to a game 3. John will get to be on the play. It'll be pretty big for him.
We had both equal and uninteractive matches, or games on each side now.
Right.
So hopefully this time we get a little bit more from both sides.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, both times the player that lost ended up mulliganing and then didn't do a whole lot while the other player just kind of did whatever they wanted. So we'll see if both players can have strong 7s and then play out the match from there.
I have a friend who plays red-green Scapeshift, and he plays some seriously spicy tech in his deck.
Like what?
You ever heard of this card?
Yes, I have.
Postmortem Lunge. He plays in his red-green Scapeshift deck.
Really? That's
And
wild.
It's basically a Kolgan's Command that brings your creature back to the battlefield for your Sakura Tri-Builders early, and for your Primeval Titans late.
Right. Yeah, that's a pretty wild card. It gets played in the Turbo Devoted Druid Vizier combo deck.
Yep.
Doesn't really see a whole lot of play anywhere else, but that is spicy. That is a pretty cool card to play.
It's like Josh is going to take a mulligan to 6.
Yep.
I think John is content with his 7-card hand,
Yep.
which is never really good for anyone.
No, it's very likely that John has some kind of, likely 1 or 2 Tron pieces and then some other effect that allows him to search for the 3rd. We'll see what it looks like once they get started. Yeah, I can see a power plant and a mine, and
One of the chromatics.
yeah. Oh, an expedition map. Yep. Yeah, so he's got turn 3 Tron, assuming that Josh does not cast Nature's Claim on the map on turn 1.
Scrying, Josh likely going to put it on the bottom, but he's recontemplating his
Yeah,
decision.
he's considering it.
Oh, put it on the top.
Change his mind.
If you're looking for one more player for Modern
It'd be funny if you kept Nature's Claim on top. Oh no, you kept Valakut on top. All right, well.
Tap 1, land, expedition map, go. Turn 2, we're going to play another land with the thought of activating the expedition map for the 3rd Tron piece.
Okay, had Damping Sphere. That's pretty important. That is pretty
John
important.
might elect to go get a basic forest now,
Yeah, we'll see.
but he instead goes for the third Tron piece.
I think that he had other lands in his hand. Did he?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, pretty likely that he has a green source in his hand already. So,
I believe at the very least we have the Tron piece now. It looks like we have a Thragtusk in hand, too.
right.
I think a Sylvan Scrying or two, maybe
Yeah.
an Ancient Stirrings.
I think that he had a chromatic sphere. Yeah, it looks like just
he
sphere
does
in
have
the
one of
back.
the chromatics in
So
his hand.
that's a green source.
But
allows
we
him to-
have the claim.
Oh, okay. This is nice here too. So he's actually able to get rid of the Valakut and then get his green source right now. So if he does have Ancient Stirrings, he can cast it this turn.
Yep.
This is a nice play. Allows him to disrupt Josh a little bit while getting the green source he needs to be able to cast those green spells that are in his hand.
Yeah, hopefully we can. Hopefully John is able to find a Nature's Claim to get the Damping Sphere off the battlefield.
Yeah.
To be able to start doing his Urzatron things.
Right. He would also take an Oblivion Stone because he can play the stone his next turn, and then the turn after that blow it up, and then untap with Tron and do pretty much whatever he wants. Looks like it's just some lands and a
Two
star.
lands, a Stirring, a Relic, and a Star.
So I guess here, I think Star is probably the.
Yeah,
Star's
we want to
probably
keep
best.
churning through our deck.
I don't think you want Relic here. Relic just has no utility. Wait, he needs to show that card. Oh,
He hasn't put it in
hasn't
his hand
okay,
yet.
I thought that he put it in his hand. Okay, so
Yeah.
yep, taking Star.
Star is the most utility.
Right. At least it does a little bit more than a Relic of Progenitus against an opponent that, honestly, it's very likely that Josh would have Relic of Progenitus in his sideboard, personally.
Yeah.
All right, so Colony Heart into Stomping Grounds, not bad.
Nope, that's gonna help us. That's gonna help Josh get his ramp plan going much quicker. Kalani can be very, very explosive once triggered.
Yeah, no, it's true. It is certainly one of the most vulnerable acceleration spells that you can play in this type of strategy, but it is also, as you said, incredibly explosive. It leads to some of your best draws.
Yeah, in this situation, the Kalani Heart is not going to be touched by anything that John does, because John's eyes are definitely going to be set on the Damping Sphere.
Okay, so it looks like so the Damping Sphere made the sphere cost one more, so he can't, churn through his deck as quickly as he normally could.
Looks like John has another basic in his hand. He's going to be able to at least deploy a Thragtusk next turn,
Right.
which by itself can win this game.
That's true. Yeah, Josh missed a land drop too. That's not what the deck wants to do. A dedicated deck to making a bunch of lands, missing out is not where you want to be.
Thragtusk gain 5 life, pass turn.
Yep.
We're now not just going to immediately sacrifice the Sakura Tribuilder.
Probably not. He's probably going to leave it.
We're able to chump block with it.
Yeah, I think it's better this way because anything he draws that can put a land into play, he can still get a second counter on the Expedition, and then, yeah, exactly. So he puts a second counter here. He can block with the Elder, put another land into play. This works too, I guess. Well, if he didn't have this, then he'd be able to block with the Elder, put another land into play, get the Expedition up to 3, and then he could crack it to get to the 2. So this is actually in a pretty good spot. Now his Expedition is active no matter what happens, so John is not able to disrupt it, and that's going to put him up to a lot of lands in play no matter what John does.
Yeah, and Josh has the Valakut in play already.
It's likely that the way that Josh has played this game, I would assume that there's at least one copy of Primeval Titan. Yeah, it looks like Josh does have a copy of Prime Time in his hand. And it looks like he's just going to basically set up as strong of a Primeval Titan turn as he can.
Yep. Josh throwing the Sakura Tribuilder in front of the Thragtusk, and is going to use his ability to sacrifice and find a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and he's going to sacrifice his Kalani Heart and find 2 more basics.
I'm a little curious as to why he fetched a third forest. He might have another green spell to play, but I feel like he should have just gotten another mountain instead. I don't think he really needs a second or third basic forest in this spot, but maybe there's some other spell. Maybe he's gonna suspend like Search for Tomorrow next turn in addition to playing Primeval Titan. I'm not really sure.
He might be able to cast Search. He's got enough mana to be able to cast Search.
Oh,
Going for the Scape Shift.
Well, this is...
Oh, he can Scape Shift and then he can cast Primeval Titan.
Well, no, it comes up like tap, though.
From Scape Shift?
Yeah, they do. Yep.
Okay.
No, that's fine. But,
Yeah, he just searched out basics just to find them.
I guess one... It's also possible that once, that actually makes more sense now. So, getting out the forest means that he has more lands in play, but he had
more mountains to get off the Scape
Right,
Shift.
yeah, he had Scape Shift in his hand, so it didn't matter. He just needed to get more lands in play. That way he wouldn't like randomly draw like a mountain for his turn and not be able to Scape Shift for enough damage.
Yep. Then he had 3 Valakuts in play.
That'll do it. All right.
3 Valakuts in play, and I think it was 6 to 7 mountains entering the battlefield all at the same time.
Right, yeah, I
I think it has to be 7.
I think he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's 6.
That's players, we're looking for 2.
Anyways,
That's only 6 times 3, though, right?
Well,
No, I think it's more than that. 6. That would be 1 Valakut's 3, so 6 times 9, right?
yeah,
So it definitely could have been 6.
yeah. Regardless, it was 25 or more damage, and that means that Josh Stringer is the victor here in round 7, moving up to 6-1. Certainly in a good spot going into the last 2 rounds of this tournament.
Yeah.
I think with the way that the sizing is of this tournament, we're a little bit over the cutoff for 9 rounds, so it's probably likely that the people who are X and 1 going into round 9 can likely draw their way into the top 8. So I think that...
Yeah, I think I looked at the math a little while ago, and some X2s are, in theory, able to make it.
Okay.
So X11s should definitely be able to make
Right.
it.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then the people who are going X1 going to the last round might have some win innings coming up.
Yep.
Yeah, so Josh is definitely putting himself in a good spot to make this top 8.
I think this is round 7, right? So he's just double draw territory at this point? No, these guys are X1,
These
right?
are X1, yeah. So Josh would need to win his next round and have good enough breakers, which I think he does have. I'm not sure, but
He's probably got adequate breakers.
yeah, probably not too bad. But I mean, if the next round goes the way that one did, then he's in a good shot.
Yeah. So we're going to a backup match soon. Hopefully we can get our players shuffled up and just bring you guys more Magic. As much as you love looking at us all day.
Yeah. Right.
We're here for some Magic. Modern specifically.
Well, yeah, that's what we signed up for, right?
All day. I mean, we're over here, of course. We get to be part of the back end team and watch the Modern event.
Now, observing this is awesome because, I mean, sometimes when you play, you get a little pigeonholed and just like thinking about only your deck. But here, we get to see. I mean, I feel like we've seen just a wide range of the format. I feel like we've
I think we're a Death Shadow deck off of having really kind of touched on all the bases.
Right, pretty much, yeah. We've seen almost all the Tier 1 strategies and a lot of Tier 2s.
Yep.
Even some of the more wild decks,
Yeah, I'd say probably Tier 2, 5, 3s. Slivers isn't really in anyone's realm of.
I mean, sometimes Hardened Scales
tier.
is good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that deck was really cool when it was originally built.
Yeah.
Like the Abzan version with Winding Constrictors.
Yeah.
It was really awesome. It really was. But it was just kind of the kind of deck that we don't know what we're doing to play against this deck.
Yeah, right.
It's like, everything's an Arcbound Ravager. I don't know how to battle this deck. Everything's an Arcbound Ravager. Everything just keeps getting bigger. So
the answer, Eldrazi's Displacer. That's all you need.
apparently, just make your cards go away and come back again. All you need to ever beat that deck.
Blink any creature they have. Easy game.
All right, here we go. We have Domiano Altieri and Josh Burke.
Yep.
Josh Burke on the White and Taxes deck.
But small side note, personal fan of Demanio's shirt. Looks like a American Red Cross shirt, the company that I actually work for. So
Nice, that's awesome.
I'm actually just small little fist bump for wearing an ARC shirt. Proud of you.
So we have Hollow One. Oh no, we have Mardu Pyromancer
And then
and Eldrazi and Taxi.
yeah, Josh is the one we featured in round 5, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
These guys are both X1 now.
you know Josh personally, right?
Yep.
Yeah, nice. Is he from your area or?
He's from the Capital Region area, like Albany area.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, he was at one of the PTQs I was at very recently, playing the Mono Black Control deck, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he actually top 8'd the event with that deck. The deck was really good.
Not bad. All right, let's see. Oh, how nice we get to actually see his hand very easily. Good old Inquisition of Kozilek. Thanks. Coverage always thanks you for getting cast. All right.
Oh, boy.
So I actually like Josh's hand quite a bit. It's
Yeah.
pretty redundant. It's got a lot of the value. The only sad part
You
is
really hate taking the Wall of Omens with your Thoughtseize or your Inquisition right
right,
here,
but at the same time,
but it's his only turn 2 play.
yeah, like now his hand is just like very straightforward. The Flicker Wisps lose a lot of their utility, only being able to target really lands at this point. He really wants to be able to target one of his own permanents with his Flicker Wisps. I don't think there's a lot of, obviously, you could target Young Pyromancer like a token. It's like, okay, you obviously don't want to target Billabiller.
Young Pyromancer tokens, Lingering Souls tokens, all
Right.
great targets for the Flicker Wisp.
Yeah, only problem is if they play Lingering Souls, you get rid of one token, the other token still blocks your Flicker Wisp, which
Yep.
not great. Okay, this is
Rest in peace.
that's a good draw. I'm pretty sure that Demonio would have immediately taken Rest in Peace if he had seen it in the
Absolutely.
opener.
You can have a 0/4 that draws you a card and does nothing against any of my other cards, and I will take this card that interacts with basically everything I'm doing.
Yeah, that was really good for
We
Josh.
still have a Faithless Looting in hand that's never coming back. We're
Right.
going to get a token, but that sets Josh up to be able to cast his Eldrazi, or his Flicker Wisp, and just get rid of the token.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is not as easy now because this Faithless Looting also is basically card disadvantage. You get a little bit of selection, but you're basically going down a card. You get a token out of the deal, which is okay, but yeah, he actually is discarding 2 more copies of Faithless Looting because that card is just not good here. Although this start,
I mean, with a second Young Pyromancer, the Faithless Looting is phenomenal
yeah,
because it's a 1-mana, find more 1-mana spells, make more 1/1 tokens.
right. Yeah.
Currently, Ithrim, we don't have any decks locked into the top 8. After this round is complete, we should have some Exos who are going to be able to double draw into top 8.
Right. It's very likely that we'll have 2 players that will know for sure about making the top 8.
Yep.
And then a bunch of win and in rounds for people that are trying to get there in round 8.
Ooh, going Leon and Arbiter Ghost Quarter here. No.
Yeah, although
Okay. So the 2/2 is good. It'll be able to block and kill the Elemental token, and it'll be able to take care of Young Pyromancers if they ever try to battle.
yeah, I'm a little interested as to why Josh didn't just Ghost Quarter on the spot. I feel like his play the next turn is just going to be Eldrazi Temple into Displacer. So I feel like letting Dominio have extra mana is kind of bad here. Like getting rid of that Blood Crypt would have been more useful.
Draw Declaration in Stone?
Yeah, he did.
That'd be phenomenal against all of these. All right, so what do you do here? Do you go Young Pyros, or do you go for the
I
tokens?
think that I'm not sure. I think you have to.
I guess it also slightly depends on how many cards we have in Domiano's hand. Right? If we only have 1 card left,
Yeah.
then I can see going after the tokens. Right?
I
He can't
agree.
flashback Faithless Lootings. He's only got 1 going to 2 cards in hand. Likely that one of those cards is going to be a land.
It's.
But it's
like-
tough, right?
Yeah, it is. It is a difficult decision. It's okay. So
The other line, if we deck and stone the tokens, or we deck and stone the Young Pyros, we can Flicker Wisp all the tokens away, eventually.
well, that's assuming that he draws a white source in time. It looks like.
Well, we have Ghost Quarter,
I mean, right? We have the.
so he can Ghost Quarter himself, get a white.
Yeah, he has to. The problem here is that he would have to Ghost Quarter his own Ghost Quarter probably to get another white source, then deal himself another damage to cast the Flicker Wisp. And he's already taking 6 this turn, and I think I saw a Lightning Bolt in Dominio's hand too. So this is, oh yeah, and a Colgan's Command, yeah, this is,
Yeah, Colgan's Command is going to be pretty backbreaking.
I do not think that unless Josh finds some I don't even think of a card in Modern that can really save him at this point.
Yeah, we've seen 2 Hollow 1 decks on camera so far.
Yes. Yeah, we saw it lose to Slivers, and we saw it beat Humans.
I think Josh is just dead to cast Flicker Wisp. Take a point, go to 3. Damio's just going to respond with Bolt if he does, in fact, have it. Yep.
Yeah, had Kolga's command anyways, too. Yeah, I don't really think that there's anything that Josh should do. I mean, I guess he could get rid of his tokens. I think that's what he had to do. I guess what his game plan was, he was really far behind, and his only hope was to get rid of the Young Prime Ministers first, and then top deck the other Declaration Stone to get rid of the tokens, and then not have to worry about like additional tokens in the follow-up.
Yeah, I think the tokens just got too far out of hand for Josh.
Yeah.
It was just too little, too late with the Declaration. So if
Right.
Josh drew that earlier and was able to get both of the Pyros before there was 6 tokens, it's very possible we could have come back in that game. But
Yeah.
Josh just took too much damage too early, and Lightning Bolt and other burn spells in hand really kind of locked that up for him.